I'm a relaxed kids coach and story massage instructor. So that means I support young people and children to find their inner calm, to manage stress and anxiety whilst raising self-esteem and having fun. Thank you to the money from Healthwatch, I was able to run a chill skills workshop, and my aim was to work with teenagers in Wokingham areas. I worked in partnership with Wokingham Library so that we could extend our reach and support more children in the area. Now, working with Elizabeth MacDonald, the Children and Young People's Outreach Manager, meant that we used her contacts, but that also brought me a challenge, and it meant that the response was overwhelming, really. Not only did I get parents of teenagers, I received inquiries from pre-teens, so mainly 10 and 11-year-old children's parents, primary schools, secondary schools, and the community groups in the area, so it just shows there's a definite need around. So what I decided was I needed to run 2 workshops. So with the help again of Elizabeth, she gave me a free room and I gave my time so that I could run a workshop for the pre-teens, the 10 and 11-year-olds and the teenagers. Both workshops are really successful and I've had great feedback from both. An example from the pre-teen young people was I felt relaxed and calm, like nothing had happened. So even though they'd had stress during the day, after they'd had a session, they felt so much better. Another young person said they felt safe, happy and brave afterwards, and it was helpful, fun and amazing. And a parent of one of those children emailed me to say that their young person had spoke really positively about the workshop and they'd really enjoyed it and they'd been demonstrating what they'd learned. Now that was really great because that young person was actually a football mad and he'd missed one of his football training sessions that night, so I was really glad it'd been useful for them. Another parent said that their child had thoroughly enjoyed it, they'd already used some of the methods and it had really helped. A week later, I'd worked with some teenagers and I asked them, what causes stress and anxiety for you? And school was a really popular theme, not only the amount of work and homework they get, but the time pressure on that. And that was quite overwhelming. Exams and tests, and they also felt understanding from the teachers would really support them on what anxiety and stress is like for them. So I then asked them, well, what would you like to see in Wokingham? What could support your well-being here? They came up with some great ideas. A sensory room, somewhere they could go to just to chill out. A chill out zone that anyone could access and was inclusive. Equipment to use at home and in school to relieve stress. A playground, some more green spaces in Wokingham where they could go and play, where there were slides, where there's climbing walls, and we know the impact that nature, exercise and movement has on us, so that was really interesting considering what's happening at the moment. More accessible clubs and more varied clubs in the area. All of the young people said they took away something and learned something new. Some feedback was it was really good, I felt relaxed, it gave me lots of tips. I've now got stress management techniques that are really helpful. Some parent feedback was, do you run chill skills for adults? Because I'd definitely be interested. I think that's the common theme. Another parent said, thank you so much. My son really enjoyed it. It was really helpful. I'm already using some of the breathing techniques. So each young person went away with a self-care kit, and one of the teenagers also took away a magazine called Team Breathe, and I accompanied that with a questionnaire. Again, it was a really great response, really positive. They all wanted to see it in their schools and in libraries. So part of the Healthwatch funding has enabled me to subscribe Wokingham Library to this magazine, so it's now accessible in the libraries, and it will be circulated. And once it's finished with the libraries, it's going to be passed on to the adolescent unit in Wokingham Hospital. So we're really trying to extend our support in the area for the young people. With these type of projects, we always identify further needs, and so some of the needs that were identified were family sessions. Some young people, with the nature of their needs, felt they couldn't come along to a session on their own. They needed their parent there as well for support. So there's definitely a need for parent and young person sessions. Year sixes came up with the stress of SATs and transition. There was a high number of parents making inquiries for year sixes. parent relaxation sessions. One of the key things I took away though, with the feedback from parents and young people themselves, was a space just for them. And I really loved the idea of a self-care cafe, somewhere they could go, speak to other people with the same needs, so they know they're not isolated, they're not on their own. Maybe someone that's already been on the journey and has come through the other side, so they can give their help and advice and signpost. Maybe there'd be a lending library of books and resources that they could take away. A really welcoming, safe and informal space that maybe there's other professionals and specialists there just to support these young people. Thank you.